Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Ready from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Walker Ford in Clearwater, Florida, and guess what? I have what is potentially the baddest truck ever built in automotive history. This truck right here. This is a 2025 Ford Raptor R. But before we get into this supercharged V8 pickup truck, let's talk about what's going on here. So it goes all the way back to 2010. Ford Performance was known as SVT, Special Vehicle Teams, and that's when we saw the birth of the Raptor. Now, the original Raptor did have a V8. Wasn't supercharged, that's for sure. It was a 5.4 liter naturally aspirated V8. Eventually, they would bump it up to 6.2 liters of displacement, but then the V8 disappeared. When they went to the new generation of Raptor, it was all about focusing on the 3.5 liter twin turbo V6. A lot of Raptor true hardcore fans were very, very upset. Even though the Raptor with the EcoBoost engine, which is still available to this day, has greater performance than the outgoing V8 version. Now, when they came out with the Raptor R just a couple years ago, this was to lay the smackdown on the mighty Ram TRX. Ram TRX is extinct for now. They say potentially it's coming back. But what I want to find out is this the must-have, the baddest truck of them all? Let's go ahead. Let's dive into our Raptor R and find out. Right off the top of the game here, right off the bat, we're talking about a special color. It's called Shelter Green, and it's only available on Raptors. You can't get this color on your standard F-150. Now at the front of the business, you got your full LED lighting, LED daytime running lamps, turn signals, headlights. Love the way they did the headlight housing, how it all interlocks like a Lego piece. And then of course, you're gonna have your LED auxiliary lighting built into those fender flares. Working our way down, we got rigid industry cube LED driving lamps, and then tons of ground clearance. Look at the way they sculpted out the stamped steel front bumper. Nicely done with your steel skid plates all the way back, protecting the oil pan, the fuel tank. 13.5 inches of ground clearance underneath this beast. And then of course, because it is a Raptor, and specifically a Raptor R, we gotta have the code orange color on our recovery tow hooks to pull those Toyota Tundra TRD Pros and Ram Rebels out of the muck. But let me know what you think about the corner of the face of this Raptor R. We come across the grille, there it is. I love the way they specifically spell out the name Ford. You do have the R badge and that code orange, and you do have the auxiliary lighting. Remember, people, it's funny, people call this Raptor lights. When I did a review of the Ranger Raptor, they're like, how come it doesn't have Raptor lights? These aren't Raptor lights, guys. It's sort of like how a Q-tip is not a Q-tip. A Q-tip is a cotton swab. Q-tip is the brand. These lights are required by the Department of Transportation because of the extra width of this beast. That's why the Ram TRX has it on the hood scoop, also the Ram RHO. Raptor, Ranger Raptor, is not wide enough where it's required. So if you don't see the lights, don't think that that is missing the Raptor lights. They're not called Raptor lights, all right? I just wanted to clear that. Love the way the whole grille is a nice flat black finish. You got your forward-facing camera with a washer. And then working our way down, in the center of the steel bumper here, you have functionality because, remember, we got supercharged intercooled power, those dual recovery tow hooks, and a face that, man, is just one bad mamma jamma. You just know what this truck is about. Now, as we rise up, you do have, this one has the optional graphics kit. Not my favorite. I'll be honest with you. I'm not really liking the graphics for this generation. You do have your heat extractors with the bulge. So guys, put away the socks. Don't wear your cup around, your baseball cup, to try to look bigger. The bulge is here. It's the real deal bulge. Even love the name badge on the side with the R highlighted in that orange. Coming around the bend, and you got to swing out wide. This one's got the bad wheels, and I mean that in a very good way. We got our Bead Lock wheels. Love the two-piece style to them. The flat black with the gunmetal metallic gray. 37-inch tires. 37-inch tires. Those BF Goodrich KO2 off-road tires. These are tires that they run in the mighty Baja 500 and Baja 1000, which, by the way, the Raptor has won in its production class many a time. Tire size, like I said, 37 inches. Just kind of crazy that they have that. The wheel size is a 17-inch wheel. And as you zoom in, I'm gonna have Steven kind of zoom in and show you, we have that live valve technology, live wire from Fox Racing. Love the way they got the springs, the upper control arms, all those goodies. And then up top, with the nice wide fender flare, you do have, and I'm gonna have Steven swing around your functional fender venting. You can see the addition to the fender flare over a regular Raptor. And then we have more of the graphics, not my favorite. Power folding side mirrors with the shelter green. And then from the side of this vehicle, you can see just how big it is. It's a full-size truck. It's on an F-150 platform. You have your Raptor specific running boards, powder coated. This one has the optional key code thing. I think it just looks tacky. It looks actually quite terrible. I wish that that was not there. But it is kind of cool. If you're gonna go jet skiing or ride your four-wheeler or something, you could lock your keys in the car and just use the code so you don't have to have it on your pocket, in your pocket. Now moving towards the back, of course, you have the four-door usability. Love the Raptor name. And what is cool about the graphics package is that on the back, the R, you can see how it's blended in with the graphics. We can see our steel box frame down there, and then there's our special valving for that live wire. So what that Fox suspension does is every nanosecond, it's adjusting compression and rebound automatically for the perfect support all four corners. Coming towards the back of the truck, you can see how they did a good job on the LED lighting on the back. We got our Ford Performance active exhaust, one outlet on each side to let that supercharged V8 sing. And then the back here with the Ford name, Raptor R. See how they do that right from the factory. And then of course you could do all your towing, man. You got all your towing hookups back here. Love the way they mount a spare high underneath the back. You got locking diffs, electric locking diffs, the whole shabam with this truck. And then just like any other truck, it's usable. You got your step system built into the tailgate. This is where you can measure whose is biggest, whose fish that you caught is the biggest out of your friends. And then just everything covered with your bed liner. On the driver's side, you do have a home power source, which is great. And then what's nice is if you don't want to get your Twinkies wet, this is the Ford Raptor R Twinkie box. You could put a box of Twinkies in there and it is weather tight because nobody likes a soggy Twinkie. And like I said, I've always liked the way Ford does their step system. Real nice, easy to use, seamless. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop that hood and check out the heart of this Raptor. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hood struts underneath the hood. There it is, that's that Predator V8. Straight out of the old Shelby GT500 from the S550 Mustang platform. You're looking at now having 720 horsepower, 640 pound-feet of torque. It's bolted to a 10-speed automatic, 0 to 60 in about 3.4 seconds, quarter mile in 12 seconds flat at 113 miles per hour. It is governed top speed to 114 miles per hour. MPGs, if you really care, I could show you a hybrid Ford Maverick. This thing gets 10 MPGs in the city, 15 on the highway. The truck weighs 6,090 pounds, but can tow 8,700 pounds, which is interesting because a long time ago, if you had a performance truck, your tow rating went right down the toilet. Some performance trucks, like the GMC Cyclone, you can't even tow with. So kind of interesting the way that has changed. But why don't we go ahead? We got the supercharged V8. Let's hear it. right, guys, we're inside this shelter green Raptor R. It's big, it's bad, and it's got a lot of performance. Now, I know you're probably saying to yourself, well, Joe, if this thing has 720 horsepower and all this crazy off-road equipment, it's got to be expensive. And you know what? You're correct. MSRP for the way that this one is optioned is $115,000. Quite a bit of money. But let's see if Ford brings it all, kitchen sink and everything, to the door panels. Love the nice quality materials. You got the white popping, the code orange stitching, the Alcantara, the carbon fiber, no gloss black. You have your off-road Twinkie tray in the center, and then we got the B&O sound system, and then go to and make a run to Jersey Mike's, because you could get 2 foot-long subs in there with extra dressing and a nice large bottle of sun-kissed orange soda to wash it down. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, love the piping, the stitching, the carbon fiber. Open up the door, you can put a baker's dozen of Twinkies in there, and then close it up. We got a 12 volt, you better get a radar detector or you're going to jail. We got home power source. On the side here, you do have a place where you can put 2 bananas, so you don't have to stuff them in your pants. And then you have that standard 12-inch infotainment system, all the goodies, the navigation, everything. We've shown this to you a million times. Backup camera, resolution's good. It could be a little bit better, but it's good. And then we're right back where we started. Pro trailer backup assist, real physical knobs and buttons, which I'm very happy to see, including heated seats, ventilated seats. You got your different drive modes, and this is where you go through your 4x4 system. Right over here in the corner, carbon fiber, slide it open, USB-C, USB-A wireless charging. Close that up. 2 cup holders, a place for a Slim Jim. Steven loves Slim Jims. And then you have more of the code orange with the leather shifter here. Push that. It drops down. Why does it do that? Because remember, this has the workstation. So you could have your computer, your laptop, and you could work while you're off-roading to project your telemetry as you're going over the big jumps and stuff. You could do all that, or you could have lunch. I prefer the lunch. And then you push that. No, you cannot do that. You can't make it go down while you're driving on the road. It won't do it. You have to be in park. Come on. Alcantara, the Raptor R badge with the stitching. Open this up. You got a nice little tray here for some Oreo cookies. 2 USB-Cs, and you could put, I would say you could probably put about 25 Beanie Babies in there. Steven just got a new Beanie Baby that he brought today to work. I told him not to bring it, but he brought it. A little Triceratops Beanie Baby. He named it Sam. Seats, the leather, the Raptor R embroidery, the Alcantara, power, top and bottom for passenger and for driver. Up top, we do have auxiliary switches, so if you want to get a winch or an air horn or something, you could do that. And we have our panoramic sunroof with the power shade. But why don't you climb over here? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Jurassic Park Raptor. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have your Ford Performance sill plate badge. Looking good. That's what they call what used to be SVT. And then you have all your seat controls. My big zonk is there's no metal pedals in here. And a truck that costs $115,000. Plenty of room though, and these seats are superb. I literally have gone over 90 miles an hour in the desert in a Raptor R, and I could tell you the seats, they work. Steering wheel, love it. The leather, the code orange stitching, the R badge and the carbon fiber. Flat black on the switchgear. I hate this horn button. This horn button is terrible. I gotta zonk it. Give me a better horn button, please. You do have magnesium paddles to go up and down that 10-speed automatic, and it is a power tilting and telescoping wheel. And then of course you got your 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. I go into my different modes. They got them all for you, especially the off-road stuff. The Baja, they all work so freaking well. I'm gonna leave it in sport mode, and you have a head-up display. Now, there is a back seat. I've already shown it to you a million times. So what I wanna do is, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go on throttle in this Raptor R. All right, guys, we're inside this Raptor R. We're leaving Walker Ford. And man, oh man, having that supercharged V8 underneath the hood is a fantastic feeling. So fantastic, I brought my towel with me because I know I'm gonna have an eargasm. And second of all, we're gonna go on throttle real quick. You ready? On throttle, look at this, yeah! So unbelievable how it just gets down to work. Love it. Love this truck. It is so versatile that it's a shame that most people will probably never off-road it. You could daily drive this truck so easily on the asphalt jungle. It is so fast for a 6,000 pound beast that it just blows your brain, man. It really just blows you away. I love all the functionality of the dash. Very easy to scroll through all that great information. You got your Raptor R information, which is important. We could go into Raptor status. Of course, our 4x4 is in 4 automatic. And I have the exhaust note in Baja because that's gonna make it the loudest. Head-up display, super clear, easy to get to the infotainment system. I mean, it really is so well designed and engineered in this truck. Seats are superb. And of course, the 10-speed automatic really shifts well with this 5.2 liter supercharged V8 engine. You ready? On throttle, here we go. Look at this thing. You got that Fox live wire valving system with the shock absorbers, giving you the perfect amount of compression and rebound. And you would think this truck would be super floaty. It is not. For an off-road truck with 37-inch tires, it's pretty buttoned up. And I really, really appreciate that because you really can see all the work that the engineers have done in this beast. But having that beautiful 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, the auxiliary gauges across the top, everything is so well laid out in here. Tons of storage, comfort. I mean, the only elephant in the room is that $115,000 MSRP. That's a lot of money. All right, guys, pulling away from the light. Like I said, she's a pussy cat. Easy to drive. But man, when you lay down the hammer, you better hold on tight because this thing is no joke. Now, you're gonna get a bunch of road noise from the 37-inch tires. Who cares? They make the truck look so menacing. And if you're gonna actually do off-roading, they're gonna come in handy. But let's go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. Just enough supercharger whine to know that there's a supercharger underneath the hood. It's not as loud as a TRX, but that's something that Ram and Dodge just does differently, is they really allow that supercharger to be heard. But at least it's not totally quiet like on the GT500. I felt like on the GT500 it was just too quiet. Great downshifts by the automatic transmission, keeps the chassis stable. And like I said, with the amount of wheel travel you have, your approach and departure angles, this thing is 100% real deal. There's no poser truck about this. There really is not whatsoever. On throttle, here we go. Love this truck, man. Love it. And that 10-speed, like I said, does such a good job. Steering feels precise. You got those large paddles behind the wheel to go up and down the 10-speed. And visibility is great in this truck as well. Just a nice steroid-injected truck. It's all about the power, man. And this thing really, really brings it big time. And then when you're driving in traffic, it's comfortable. Heated seats, ventilated seats, they got you covered. But we're gonna go ahead, since the traffic is terrible, we're gonna get back to Walker Ford. I hope that this has been a good, quick overall review and wrap this one up. So I will see you in a split second. All right, guys, another great day in so many ways, especially with a supercharged Raptor. Definitely gotta thank Frank Walker, Weston Walker, and Tracy getting us access to this 2025 Shelter Green Raptor R. Let me know what you think. Is this the must-have truck? The truck to end all trucks? Let me know in the comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rise family. Got to give it up to Stephen Flood. He loves dinosaurs. His favorite is the Stegosaurus. So he's not a real big Raptor fan, but if Ford comes out with the Stegosaurus performance truck, Stephen will be all over it. So thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.